10 seconds. That is literally all it took to detonate one of the most explosive PR disasters in recent sports media history. An ABC anchor thought the mic was off. It wasn't. One careless, arrogant sentence about Alex Eala sent shockwaves across the entire globe within hours. The suspension came fast. But the damage? That is going to linger for a very long time. So here is the real question you need to sit with. Was this just a clumsy slip of the tongue, or did that hot mic accidentally rip open something much darker that has been hiding behind the scenes for years? Before we tear this wide open, let me ask you something directly. Do you believe Alex Eala is destined to crack the WTA top 5? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because by the end of this video, your perspective on that question is going to hit completely different. If Alexa's story moves you, if her grind inspires you even slightly, smash that like button and let the algorithm know this conversation deserves to be heard. Now let's get into what actually went down, because this story is wilder than most people realize. This was not about a missed volley. It was not about a double fault or a heartbreaking 3-set loss. It was about a veteran broadcaster sitting in a lit studio, cameras still rolling, producers cueing the next segment, leaning in with a smile and dropping a sentence she assumed would never reach the public. She said, "She's not that good. The hype only exists because she's from the Philippines." That was it. A few fleeting seconds. But those few seconds were absolutely lethal. The studio crew heard it first. Then someone clipped it. Someone shared it. And from that single moment, the wildfire ignited. Within hours, it was everywhere. X, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube reaction channels, sports podcasts, Filipino community pages, every platform was replaying that insult on a loop. Suddenly Alex Eala was not trending because of her lethal backhand or her relentless court movement. She was trending because someone with a national platform tried to reduce an entire career down to a passport. And the world had something to say about that. Now pause. Because before we go any further, you need to understand exactly who Alex Eala is so you can fully appreciate just how offensive that comment was. She is 20 years old. She is a junior Grand Slam champion. She has stepped onto courts where very few athletes from her nation have ever competed. She has gone toe-to-toe with seasoned veterans who have been grinding the tour for over a decade. She did not get there because of hype or sympathy or novelty. She got there through brutal practice sessions, through 4 a.m. wake-up calls, through losses that broke her down and wins that rebuilt her stronger every single time. To look at that resume, to look at that trajectory, and say the attention is only because of where she was born, that is not sports analysis. That is flat-out dismissal. And millions of people felt that disrespect hit like a gut punch. The hashtags started dominating within hours. Respect Alexa. Boycott ABC Manila. Filipino fans were not just defending a tennis player. They were defending something much bigger. Here is what most international observers completely missed about why this particular comment cuts so deep. Tennis is not the dominant sport in the Philippines. It does not carry the same cultural weight as basketball or boxing. So when a homegrown talent breaks through the doors of the global tennis elite, it does not just mean a ranking number went up. It means possibility becomes real. It means representation that was never there before. It means a kid somewhere in Manila staring at a screen and thinking for the very first time, maybe I can do that too. And then a voice from a major American network gets caught saying it is just hype because she is Filipino? That did not just sting. That hit deep in a way that had nothing to do with tennis. By the next morning, ABC was staring straight down the barrel of a full-scale PR crisis. Executives scrambled. A short, panicked statement was released. The comment made off air does not reflect the values of our organization. The anchor has been suspended pending investigation. Suspended. Just like that. Because that is what happens when public backlash moves faster than your damage control team. Sponsors were reportedly making nervous phone calls. Viewers were tagging ABC in thousands of posts dripping with anger. Media critics were picking apart the systemic bias in international sports coverage. But here is the most powerful and honestly the most underrated part of this entire story. While the internet was absolutely screaming, Alexa was completely silent. No rage tweet. No dramatic Instagram story. No carefully worded PR statement drafted by a management team. Her last post was a simple photo from training. Focused. Locked in. And that silence said more than any clapback ever could have. While commentators argued on television, she worked on her footwork. While the clip was being replayed millions of times, she was out there hitting hundreds of balls until her arm burned. Her fans noticed that silence. And something extraordinary happened. That silence did not make her look weak. It transformed her into something untouchable. The louder the noise around her became, the more unshakable her focus looked to the world. That is a level of mental strength that most athletes spend careers trying to build. Now let's talk about the savage, beautiful irony buried inside this whole disaster. The anchor's argument was that Alexa's rise was fueled by nationality hype rather than genuine ability. Then explain the victories. Explain the statistics. Explain the ranking climb. Explain the relentless baseline rallies against players who had years of tour experience on her. Nationality does not win match points. Skill wins match points. Grit wins match points. Discipline at 6 a.m. when nobody is watching, that wins match points. The attempt to shrink her did not shrink her even slightly. It launched her into the stratosphere. Millions of people who had genuinely never heard the name Alex Eala suddenly knew exactly who she was. Her highlight reels started racking up millions of views overnight. Old interviews resurfaced. In one vintage clip, she quietly says, "I play because I love the game." That one quote went viral all over again. TikTok edits synced it over slow-motion footage of her crushing forehands down the line. Fans shared it like a battle cry. The insult that was designed to minimize her ended up bulletproofing her image in a way that years of positive coverage probably never could have. And ABC's problem kept compounding because once the internet starts digging, it does not stop easily. People started finding receipts. Old segments. Subtle tones of disbelief when underdog athletes won. Small reactions that suddenly looked very deliberate in retrospect. The question shifted from was this a slip-up to was this a window into something systemic? And once that question takes hold in a public conversation, it is almost impossible to walk back. Inside the newsroom, the atmosphere was reportedly suffocating. Producers were ordered off social media. PR teams were working through the night. Legal teams were reviewing contracts. Because here is the harsh modern reality. The second your advertisers get spooked, the entire equation changes. Networks do not control narratives the way they used to. The audience does. The algorithm does. And in this moment, the algorithm had chosen its fighter. Across the Philippines and Filipino communities overseas, support turned into a genuine movement. Students studying abroad posted tributes. Community groups flooded timelines with solidarity. This stopped being about tennis rankings or match statistics. It became about dignity. It became about whether athletes from nations outside the traditional sports powerhouses deserve the same standard of respect that is automatically extended to others. That is a much larger conversation than one suspended anchor. And the timing of it all forced the sports media world to look in the mirror at an uncomfortable reflection. Let's be completely honest here. Criticism in professional sports is not just acceptable, it is necessary. Athletes get dissected every single day. Serve percentage, return speed, first strike statistics, movement efficiency under pressure. That is the legitimate job of sports journalism. That kind of scrutiny makes athletes better and makes coverage richer. But there is a canyon-sized difference between rigorous analysis and dismissing someone's entire rise as a product of where they were born. One sharpens a career. The other attempts to erase it. Fans understand that difference instinctively, and they responded with the kind of fury that does not fade after a single news cycle. Some voices tried to defend the anchor by claiming the comment was taken out of context, that it was a private joke never meant to be heard. That defense collapsed immediately, because even granting the most charitable possible interpretation, even if it was private, what it revealed was a mindset. And that mindset is exactly what millions of people rejected. By day 3, the story was not fading. It was accelerating. Other networks picked it up. Sports talk shows ran full debates. Late-night hosts were making jokes about hot mic disasters. ABC's corporate apology started to feel increasingly small and hollow against the raw emotion that was still surging online. People were not asking for polished press releases. They were asking for genuine accountability and a real reckoning with how athletes from underrepresented nations are discussed. Meanwhile, Alexa kept grinding. Clips from her training sessions kept dropping online. Drills. Sweat. The sharp, clean sound of a racket snapping through the ball at full pace. The message required 0 words. You talk. I play. That quiet, relentless confidence won over people who had never watched a single tennis match in their lives. Because sometimes the most devastating response is not the loudest one. Sometimes it is just showing up and being undeniable day after day after day. Now zoom all the way out and look at what this moment actually represents. Athletes from smaller nations have faced this specific brand of doubt for as long as global sport has existed. They get labeled flukes. They get called unexpected. They get treated as temporary visitors at a table that was never built with them in mind. But when they keep winning, when they keep showing up and refusing to be temporary, the narrative is eventually forced to shift. Alex Eala is not a feel-good headline manufactured for clicks. She is a competitor. And competitors do not need hype. They demand respect with every point they play. Picture this for a second. Imagine Alexa cracking the top 5. Imagine her standing on a Grand Slam court with a trophy in her hands. Imagine that hot mic clip being replayed right alongside footage of that moment. That would be the kind of silence that echoes. Sports history is absolutely full of stories exactly like this. The doubt comes first. The dominance comes after. And every massive win pulls that original doubt back into the light and reframes it permanently. The anchor's regret probably landed the second that suspension email arrived. But the long-term regret, that is going to sting every single time Alexa climbs higher. Because if she keeps rising, and every indication is that she will, this moment becomes a permanent part of her origin story. The clip becomes fuel. Every milestone will remind the world exactly what was said and exactly what happened next. Athletes remember the doubt. They remember every voice that said they were not good enough, not legitimate enough, not worthy of serious consideration. They keep those memories in a very specific place and they use them when their legs are giving out in the third set of a brutal match. Alexa is young. She is evolving. She is still in the early chapters of what is shaping up to be a genuinely remarkable career. She has already etched her name in history for the Philippines. And her success is not hype. It was earned in blood, in sweat, in years of sacrifice that happened long before any camera ever pointed at her. One careless comment tried to shrink a rising star. Instead, it made her shine louder than ever before. 10 seconds is all it took to change everything. Now I need to hear from you. Was the suspension enough, or should there have been stronger consequences for that level of public disrespect? And do you believe Alexa answers this controversy the only way that truly matters? With victories? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because one thing is absolutely certain. This story is not over. Not even close. Underestimating her? Probably the worst bet anyone could ever make.